I forgot whether we murdered that guy. I was arrested for all 3 murders. You can't even explain it good. Oh no, that's such a dark ending. Please let me stay, the Saya you remember. Bro, okay, I don't care what you say. Saya is a queen. Let me stay the Saya you remember? Okay, but like, put a fucking crown on this queen. Same world, same story. Saya no Uta. Okay, I know I said I wouldn't come back here, but I just have to. So I'm gonna skip through everything. So it's not good. It shouldn't be a 6-hour long upload. And we should just get the... Okay, censor it already. We should just be able to get both of the other endings. So let me load this one. Yes. Okay, want it all back. Don't need it anymore. Want it all back. We didn't pick this one before. So this will be both of the other endings. If you didn't watch the main story, censor the theories, by the way. If you didn't see the true story and the full story, go back to my previous video. It's there. There is a playlist with all endings. Now all endings. So, want it all back. Well, of course, I answer without thinking. If it's possible to go back, then I want to, I think. I've never wondered if there could be any other answer. I stopped dwelling on this question a long time ago. And if I'd been asked before I met Saya, I wouldn't have hesitated. But what about now? What does it mean to wish for the past? And what could it do to me and Saya? As soon as these questions occur to me, my true feelings become unclear. The hurried answer I just gave her was less certain than I thought. Oh yeah, of course you would. Censor the theories. Saya smiles softly, her expression an unreadable mixture of what seems to be sorrow and relief. Seeing it fills me with sudden unease, as though I've just wounded her deeply with my careless words. Hey Saya, It's okay, Fuminori, don't say anymore. Saya silences me with another kiss and thrusts her tongue into my mouth with even greater passion than before. As the sweet softness of her tongue clouds my mind, I begin to feel an urgent need to say what she prevented me from saying, to speak those most important words. Saya... I can't speak for some reason. My mind is hazy. My consciousness is slipping away, and the euphoria from her kiss spreads to my entire body. Sleep well, Fuminori. I hear Saya whisper softly from far away. Don't worry. When you wake up, it'll be all over. Bro, this is gonna be such a bad ending, isn't it? Is it? It should be a really bad ending. Dee did tell me the one we got was the best ending, the true ending. Wait, I have to tell you something before I sleep, just one thing. My efforts are meaningless, however, as oblivion calls me into its embrace. Oh, everything went silent. Holy fuck, I forgot whether we murdered that guy. When I awoke, the first thing that greeted me was a terrible stink. Mr. Suzumi's body was covered in flies. I could smell the rotten stench that you would expect from a corpse. The night had ended, but Saya was nowhere to be seen in the morning light. Aside from the blood-covered floor, the kitchen looked the same as it had before the incident. In the den, however, the colors that had been so soothing the day before now served a stark reminder of what a distant world I'd been living in. Holy. Despite knowing it would be futile, I wandered the house, searching for Saya. For almost an hour, I tried in vain to deny reality. Then I called the police. When the operator answered, I couldn't stop myself from crying. It had been such a long time since I'd heard a human voice other than Saya's. Will you... What? As became clear later, Mr. Susume had murdered his family before I killed him. Unable to give the police a satisfactory explanation, I was arrested for all 3 murders! Bitch, you can't even explain it good! What? And when they found the remains of Takahana Omi... Oh no, that's bad. In my house, a 4th was added to the charges. During my interrogation, I told them everything exactly as it had happened, in every detail. The detective didn't believe me, of course, but the doctor who came later did. He moved me from the jail to a much clearer white room. Oh no, that's such a dog shit ending. That's such a dog shit ending. That's right, this room looks just as white as it does to everyone else. In the end, they declared me incapable of answering for my actions. Everything that had happened to me was real, but part of my reality, incompatible with the rest of the world. So the doctors gave me a space all to myself, a place where I could live in my own world. I'm sad that I wasn't believed, but I know that it couldn't be helped. In this world, reality is what majority says it is. That's so fucking true. And I had the misfortune to step outside of that box. The walls of my room are undeniably white. That at least I can be thankful for as I live out the rest of my life here. That's such a dog shit ending! Bro, what the... Okay, everyone said that there was never any girl named Saya. Well, so be it. Saya probably was never part of their world. But why shouldn't I be able to hear Saya's voice here, in my room? This is my world after all, a continuation of the very real time that we spent together. That's dog shit! How long did I wait with such a thoughts floating throughout my mind? Whoa. Oh, that's Saya, alright. One night I awoke to the sound of something crawling down the hallway. The sound would not normally have awoken me, but I must have had a premonition that night. Sleeping lighter than usual, I had waited for her arrival, and so I knew instantly that it was her. Saya? No, that's such a dog shit ending! She did not answer, but I could feel her outside of my door, struggling with some internal conflict. Why won't you let me hear your voice? Oh, she's afraid. Oh no. After a long silence, something small did come through the narrow bars of my peephole. She doesn't want to speak because she might be a monster, but she does care, and a lot at that. It was a cell phone, the screen already showing a notepad with freshly entered text. My voice will sound strange to you. I couldn't suppress a chuckle at Saya's uncharacteristic display of shyness. Oh, he's gonna break. He's gonna break. He's gonna break. I don't care about all that. At all. I said, turning the phone back through the bars. I just want to hear you. See you. After a short pause, the phone returned to my side. Please, let me stay. The Saya you remember. Bro, okay, I don't care what you say. Saya is a queen. Let me stay the Saya you remember? Bro, okay. Bro, like, okay. Okay. Bro. You can't be serious that this is okay. And I'm hit like this already 9 minutes in. I'd started to suspect that it might be so. In the hell my eyes had made of the world, Saya alone had looked normal. I'd thought that she was somehow unique. In truth, however, she had probably been a different kind of unique than I'd imagined. It wasn't that my senses hadn't distorted her appearance, but that she had been so unusual as to seem normal to my twisted mind. Saya's true form was something other than what I had known. Now, however, I could see her as she really was. But Saya didn't want that, and it was not for me to question the workings of her heart. I just had to accept that girl needs to keep some things private. I tried to say something to you that day, do you remember? I slipped the phone back to her. I was hoping you'd forgotten. Bro, no, I don't care. Okay, yeah. Bro, this shit got released in 2003, by the way. Why is this better than like AAA shit? What the fuck? Bro. Oh, okay. Saya is a queen, fuck you. I smiled really at the text at the screen, wondering if she really thought me so heartless. How could I forget? No one was listening, but still, it would have been embarrassing to speak the rest out loud. So this time I typed it into the phone. You did? GHI. What does that mean? JKL MNO DUV DE. What? What does this mean? YXY WXY MNO DU. I slid the phone back to the slot. What does this mean? Okay, if you know what it means, do tell me. I have no fucking idea. I could sense her trembling outside my door. I couldn't hear her or see her, but still I knew. Saya was crying. Oh, he told her how much he loved her. Okay. I think I get it now. Bro, okay. I was ready, you know. Perhaps my words offered no comfort spoken so late. Even so, I was ready. I had wanted to return to my old life, true, but I would have abandoned that wish for Saya. I know that I would have gone with her, hand in hand as far as we could, even in the most forbidden of places. Saya too must have known that I was prepared, and because she knew, she stopped me from saying these words. If I had spoken that oath, there would have been no going back. I'm sorry, I was a coward. Bro, this ending is so fucking dog shit. No, bro, hey. Seeing the words on the screen, I shook my head. It's not your fault. If I hadn't hesitated, you would have found the courage. I was afraid of you, of how you were changing because of me. It's no one's fault. Stella couldn't bring herself to take everything from me, and I couldn't bring myself to give up everything for her. This ending is so harsh, dog, bro. We were too weak to find happy, bro. No. What will you do now, Saya? I'll keep searching for my dad. No. He'll know how to send me back to where I came from. No. Bro, that's horse shit. I see. You do want to go home, don't you? No. Bro, a short time had passed with no words or messages exchanged. I wonder how many times in that brief silence, yes and no changed places in her mind. Yeah. When the phone finally returned, the characteristic on the screen seemed strangely uncertain. No. Well, I hope you found your father. I'll do my best. The time had come for our parting. She had chosen her path and I had given my blessing. There was nothing more to be said. you change your mind, I'll always be here. You can come see me whenever you want. I will, thank you. Goodbye, Fuminori! I read her final message, return the phone to the other side. Goodbye, Saya. She gently slapped my door in response, and then I heard the sound of her sliding off down the hallway. And I was left alone in the silence of the night. That was one of the most dog shit endings I could have ever expected. Ever since that day, I have been waiting. Perhaps Saya really did return to where she came from. Perhaps she is still wandering today, looking for her father. I think the latter. It must be hard, she must be lonely. When she can no longer stand being alone, she will surely return to me. I'm the only one who will comfort her, and whisper sweet nothings in her ear. Bro. I'm not gonna lie. Bro, I'm so glad my first ending was the true one. If I would have gotten this ending, holy motherfuck, I would... Oh, it's so horrible. And so I wait, dreaming of her face and her voice, I wait. Forever in my white world. That is a horrendous ending. Bro, don't even give me that music. Seriously? Bro, okay, that is... Okay, so that has been considered the quote-unquote normal ending. That was the most horse dog shit I have ever fucking... Whoa! I hate that ending so much. That was considered the quote-unquote normal ending. Please say it again, and... Now we go here. This should be... So I should call Ryoko if I recall correctly. Not Fuminori. I think. The ringing of her cell phone interrupts Ryoko's labors. When she sees the caller is top of Koji, she unwillingly breathes a sigh of relief. This is Satambo. What is it? I've searched Fuminori's house. Even over the phone, Ryoko can hear the change in Koji's tone. His is the dull, flat voice of someone who has had all the energy beaten out of him. Fuminori has murdered people. He's killed too many people to count, and he's eating them. His first steps into Ryoko's world have already brought him face to face with something particularly gruesome. In consideration of his probable state of mind, she decides to say nothing. Ome is dead, Koji continues. Tsukuba probably too. Doctor, I was wrong. Damn. The fact that you're still alive to make this call means you haven't made a fatal mistake yet, Ryoko says, praising Koji in her own way. Whether he is comforted or not is up to him. Anyway, don't screw up this time. Do nothing until I return. What we're dealing with here isn't going down easy. With her understanding of Saya deepening by the hour, Ryoko is able to make this declaration with new confidence. Fuminori already knows I'm alive. I didn't tell him who rescued me, but he's definitely on guard. I see. Koji's actions were rash, but there is no point regretting them now. The more proactive approach would be to use the pressure that he's placed on Fuminori. Ryoko's involvement is still a secret. That makes her a wild card. Depending on how she plays it, this advantage could be decisive. Have you found anything? Not enough yet, Ryoko answers, glancing sidelong at the loose leaf pages still scattered across the table. Let's see, I'll wrap this up by evening and return to the Tokyo around midnight. You stay out of trouble until then, got it? Yes. The lack of emotion in Koji's voice is actually reassuring to Ryoko. He's a machine now, able to do whatever it takes to accomplish a single goal, the extermination of Sakisaka Fuminori. He's even willing to accept help from Ryoko, whose principles hardly mess with his. A praiseworthy change indeed. After Ryoko hangs up, she gloomily counts the stacks of loose leaves that still need to be restored. There is no time, she'll only be able to get the general picture. If she has to go into battle with only fragmentary knowledge, then there is one thing that she absolutely must decipher: Ogai's biological report, which could contain information on the strength and weaknesses of the organism called Saya. All she can do now is pray for luck as she dives back into the mountains of paper. This should be the worst ending out of them all. At least I think so. Today was the first time I've driven since my accident last summer. The proposition was already too dangerous to consider given my inability to recognize roads and cars. Things have changed, however. In the 3 months, I've had to adapt to my condition. I know what cars and pedestrians look like now. And even though I can't exactly see colors, I've learned to decipher lights and turn signals. I still can't read street signs, of course. Nevertheless, I managed to make it safely to our destination, with Saya and Yok in the back seat. It was Saya who came up with the idea for our new hideout, an abandoned building she discovered while living with Dr. Ogai. Wow. If these hilly suburban residential areas, it's not hard to find thick patches of undeveloped forest just off the beaten path. Saya's old playground is located in one such secluded area, unaffected by the flow of everyday life. It used to be a privately operated sanatorium hidden among the silent trees. After the owners went bankrupt, it remained unsold and was eventually forgotten. After I left Saya and Yok at the hideout, I returned to the town to make some preparations. Now I'm finally back at our new refuge. I like this ruin from the moment I saw it. Mountains of construction material and garbage litter in the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. This place looks less likely to receive unwanted attention than our house. Since my brain sees humans as revolting monsters, places they've been tend to stink or seem covered in filth or slime. Ruins like these, long empty of life, are the places I found the most restful.
Tadaima.
I'm back. I call out to let them know I'm not a stranger. Then I go down to the basement where they're hiding. Welcome back. Were you okay with the car?
もう全然問題ない。一方通行の標識もどういうのか分かったし、スピードさえ出さなければどこを走っても大丈夫だよ。
It was no problem at all.
そっちは
I figured out how to tell which roads are one way. As long as I keep my speed down, there is nothing to worry about. So how are things here?
一通り調べたけど、やっぱりあれからずっと人が来た様子はないみたい。ここは安全だよ。
I took a look around as I thought there is no sign that anyone's been here since I found this place. It's safe.
そうか。ならいいんだけど。
I see, let's hope it stays that way. I'm a little worried that this abandoned building could become a hangout for biker gangs or homeless people.
多分表に積み上げてあるゴミのせい。あれ普通の人間にはちょっと耐えられないんじゃないかな。
It's probably because of all the trash piled out front. Most people won't go anywhere near that, don't you think? I guess. It doesn't bother me at all. I really like it, in fact. But of course, normal people would feel differently.
で、文則の買い物はいいの見つかった？
So how was your shopping? Did you get something good?
あ、もちろん。
I sure did. Oh, that's where he got the fucking eggs. He bought it. Apparently unwrapped the weapon I just bought from a campaign goods store. A 1 meter long wood axe, the biggest and sturdiest I could find.
15センチ以上のナイフは銃刀法違反だなんて張り紙してあるのに、その隣でこんなもの売ってるんだよ。お笑いだよね。
I like how this was right next to a sign saying that Lloyd knives are illegal. Seems like you could do way more damage with one of these. That does make no sense in Japan. Like a fucking axe is legal but a long knife isn't. Okay, brother. I grip the axe with both hands, testing its dependable weight, then swing it like a baseball bat. The deadly steel blade sweeps through the air, right where the person's neck would be. Yogs, who sprawled out on the floor, flinches at the sound and curls herself into a ball. Oh, this is the same as the true ending. How sharp is it? Want to test it on Yo?
それはちょっと。
I don't think that's a good idea. I definitely wasn't expecting Saya to suggest something so brutal.
心配いらないよ。今のような体だったら刃物とかの傷は割と簡単に治っちゃうから。
You don't need to worry. Her new body can heal pretty easily from cuts and such.
それにしたって痛いだろ。
But I'm sure it'll hurt.
そっか。そうだね。
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. It must have slipped her mind completely. She smiles at the oblivious Yo as if to hide her embarrassment, then says,
でもさ、痛くされた時のようの声って。
But her screams are pretty adorable, don't you think? Bro, like, I'm trying to give you some credit here. Calm down.
やっぱり人間に斧で切りかかるってのは。
Well, I just wouldn't feel right using an axe on a human.
そうなの？じゃあ、コウジさんは？
Really, then what about Koji?
そりゃだって。
That's easy. It should be obvious, but I guess Saya still doesn't understand.
奴は僕には人間に見えないから、切ろうが潰そうが平気なもんさ。
I don't see him as a human. I'll have no trouble cutting him into pieces.
そんなに違うんだ。
That really makes a difference?
そうさ。人間には良心があるからね。
Yeah, humans have conscience, you see.
どんなに憎い人間だろうと、人を殺すと思うとブレーキがかかるもんだ。
No matter how much you hate
それが
someone,
僕の称賛でもある。
you can't help but think twice about killing them. And that's how I'll win.
本当に？
Really? I think that upset her quite a bit. Saya seems awfully subdued. I guess she's concerned about what'll happen when I have it out with
体
Koji.
格じゃあいつが上だし、普通に喧嘩したんじゃ勝ち目は薄いかもしれないけどね。
He's bigger and stronger, so I might not have much chance against him in a straight up fight.
でも、僕にとっての化け物退治が、あいつにとっては人殺しなんだ。こいつは大きいよ。
But what's just
最後の瞬間で隙を見せる。
But what's just slaying a monster to me is murder to him. This is big. He'll definitely hesitate when it counts.
なんだか不安なんだよね。そういう心理戦っていうの確実じゃないっていうか。
I'm a little worried, Saya says softly, staring at the floor with unusual gravity. You can never be sure how someone will react. It's dangerous to rely on that. She raises her head and looks straight at me.
ねえ、やっぱり私が買った方が良くない？
Don't you think it'd be better if I hunt him? I appreciate Saya's consideration, even though it would be interpreted as a lack of faith in me. She's still putting my safety above hers. Nevertheless, I can't accept her half-veiled
サ
suggestion.
ヤの腕力だとさ、ヨウみたいな女の子なら楽にねじ伏せられるだろうけど、
With your
僕は相手
strength,
には厳しいと思うんだ。
you might be able to overpower a girl like Yo, but I think it'd be hard for you to take down a guy. The bitter memory of Saya's rape is still fresh in her memory. Saya falls silent for a moment, seeming to understand what I'm thinking, but then comes back to stubbornly press her case.
でもね、あのおじさんも最初の不意打ちはうまくいったの。
My first attack went fine though.
作用を見たら力が抜ける。
Most humans go limp as soon as they see me.
病院だってそうだった。平気で話しかけてきたのって文則だけだよ。
It was the same in the hospital. You were the only one who could talk to me.
まあ、それも一理あるかもな。
I guess you have a point. I can't imagine it personally, but I suppose it's possible that Saya's appearance is shocking enough to make someone lose their nerve. Suzume was able to gain the advantage because he had the same condition as me, which let him see Saya as a cute girl. Fear doesn't necessarily make people weaker, however. Depending on the situation, it can even send someone into a berserk rage, and make them harder to put down. In other words, such a tactic would be the same sort of gamble that Saya's worried about.
じゃあさ、さや、こういうのはどうだろうか。
Alright, Saya, how about this? When I tell Saya the new plan that just popped into my head, her gloomy frown turns into a bright smile.
それめや。ふみのりって頭いい。
That's smart, you're so smart for Minori.
何もそこまで。
Oh, stop. It's not exactly a great plan, but I guess the fact it lessens the risk to me is enough to excite her. She's so easy to please, but that's part of what makes her so cute.
で、いつ頃来るの、コウジさん。
So when's Koji coming?
わからない。いずれ奴の方から電話があるだろう。
I don't know, he'll call sooner or later, and then I'll lure him here and finish him. Koji will come, I know that he won't leave us alone. We could just keep running now that we've started, but I want to eliminate Koji as soon as possible. Therefore, when he contacted me, I intended to meet with him unless it's an obvious trap.
せっかく人間一人分の肉が仕入れられるのに、ここだと腐らせちゃうね。冷蔵庫ないし。
We're finally going to get some more human meat. Too bad it's just going to rot without a refrigerator.
他の動物を誘う餌にできないか。野良猫とかカラスをおびき寄せてさ。
Why don't we just use it to trap other animals? It could be bait for stray cats or crows.
それ危ないよ。万が一取り逃した時、よそに持っていかれて他人に見つかったら大騒ぎになるよ。
That's too dangerous.
それもそうだ。
If an animal gets away with the meat, someone might find it and wonder where it came from. Good point. Humans are extremely dangerous and their filthy, stinking bodies make me sick just by being nearby. Ironically, however, nothing tastes better than their meat. I truly regret to abandon our well-stocked fridge.
まあ、この辺だと森にもいろいろと住んでるから、そんなに食事には困らないんじゃないかな。
The forest around here is full of animals. I don't think we'll have any trouble finding food.
3人分だよ。大丈夫かい？
We have 3 mouths to feed. Are you sure?
任せて。これでもさや、狩りは得意なんだから。
Leave it to me.
いっぱい捕まえてくるよ。
I may not look it, but I'm a pretty good hunter. I'll be sure to keep us well fed.
そうか。じゃあ、今日からはさやが一家の大黒柱だな。
Okay, looks like you're going to be the breadwinner of this family. Saya giggles happily at my praise. I find these childish qualities of hers adorable.
今度はどのぐらいのんびりできるかな。
I wonder how long we'll be able to relax this time. Because of the casual way she says it, I almost miss the emptiness with her question leads.
どのぐらい。
Yeah. Saya's right, this won't last forever. No matter how safe this hideout might seem, we will have to abandon it eventually. The slightest mistake could put our lives together in jeopardy, just like when I failed to silence Koji. Some dumb kids might decide that this old ruin is a good place to test their courage, or this land might be targeted for a new development. In order to be together with Saya, I have chosen to live apart from society. We will never find lasting peace in this world, teeming with humans, not unless we can somehow escape from it.
長い旅だと思えばいいさ。
Think of it like going on a journey, just the two of us. I push Saya into my arms and fold her hands around her slender shoulders, then whisper.
どうせ人生なんて旅みたいなものなんだ。
Life is like a journey anyway.
変わらない場所なんてない。
Nothing stays the same forever, that's true.
時の流れを見送るか、自分自身が流れていくか、それだけの違いだよ。
The only difference is whether time passes you by or sweeps you up in its flow. That's also true.
そうだよね。
I guess you're right. Saya smiles softly, perhaps in resignation, perhaps in sadness. Either way, there is peace and contentment in her expression.
それでも一人ぼっちじゃないし。
But we'll be together,
だからさやは。
so I'm not lonely. You're not lonely either, are you?
あ、
No. I have no regrets. As long as I can hold Saya in my arms, I will gladly pay any price.
それにね、
And besides, she adds brightly, trying to cheer me
いつ
up.
かは私たちが人目を忍んで暮らさなくても
One day we won't have to hide anymore, I can promise you that.
約束してあげるから。
Bro, okay, I think this ending will be the worst, because the true ending was genuinely beautiful. It sounds like a fairy tale, but for some reason, she seems absolutely certain
それは明日かもしれないし、
that they might be tomorrow, or it might be far off in the future.
いつ印が来るのか私にもわからないの。
It's my first time, so even I don't know when the sign will come.
ほんのちょっぴり
I'm a little scared. I have no idea what Saya's prophetic words mean, but this isn't the first time that she said or done something mysterious. She's performed any number of miracles already. So there is hope for us too. Yeah, she says with a cheerful nod.
きっとそれがさやが文則に送ってあげられる最後のプレゼント。
It will be my last...
最初で最後の務め。
It will be my last present for you, Fuminori. My first and final duty. Huh? Fuck, the true ending was good. I think this one is gonna be absolutely horrible though. The hands of his watch movies with agonizing slowness, as though cutting down to the end of the world. In the hours since contacting Ryoko, Koji went back to his apartment, showered, changed clothes, and even had his first full meal in days. He wanted to take a nap, knowing that he needed to rest, but no matter how hard he tried, sleep never came. Forcing himself to relax only made his nerves colder and sharper. Huh. Wow, we didn't see this crowded of a city ever. With nothing else to do, he decides to wander to the city until nightfall. Downtown Tokyo is bustling, surrounded by smiling pedestrians, bright lights, and windows decorated early for Christmas. He feels as if all the happiness in the world has gathered in this very place. Koji takes it all in, burning it into his memory, like it's the last thing he'll ever see. Is the world so beautiful because of the horrors that lurk in its shadows? The glow of the city can no longer warm him. Perhaps that is why it seems so precious. Whoa. Koji watches the city for hours. It feels unreachably distant, like reading the obituary of someone you loved long ago. Obituary. His phone rings at 8 p.m. It's Ryoko. Their conversation is short. She hangs up as soon as they decide where to meet. And so ends Tono Koji's final nights of peace. Will he die too? I know he died in the true ending. Bro, like one thing, I don't give a shit if you hate this world or love this world. This world's music, holy mother of fuck, I cannot get it out of my head. Ryoko arrives at the dinner at 1 a.m., 1 hour later than agreed upon. She has a heavy-looking duffel bag under her arm. Koji doesn't feel like asking what the bulges represent. Sorry, I had a lot to get together. Ryoko doesn't sound at all apologetic, but Koji decides to just nod expressionlessly. Only a few tables are filled at this hour, like lonely islands in the midst of the vast restaurants, after sending the bleary-eyed waitress away with an order for 2 coffees. Koji and Ryoko are left all alone in the corner of the dining area. So did you find what you were looking for? Koji asks bluntly, while sipping dutifully from his 3rd cup of watery, tasteless coffee. I'd like to think I didn't make you wait for nothing, at least. Though I'm still not sure of anything. I think Fuminori is under a lot of stress. I've left him hanging for a day since I told him I'd call.
彼は君との接触を意識してるのか？
Do you really think you have him on the edge?
サヤっていう名前には露骨なほど反応してました。
His reaction to the name Saya was very clear. In the silence that follows, Koji tries to soothe his parched throat with another mouthful of weak coffee. I see, Ryoko mutters. So it is Saya. It's obvious that her grimace isn't for the coffee.
今なら田んぼ先生はもう答えを知ってるんですね。
You know, don't
サヤという
you?
のが何なのか。
Koji asks, his tone almost confrontational. You know what this Saya is. Ryoko tries to ignore Koji's question by nursing her coffee, but that only works until the cup is empty. Staring at the brown stain at the bottom of her cup, Ryoko says, her voice hard and flat.
君は私の忠告を無視した愚か者なわけだが、も
You were foolish enough to ignore my warning once.
う一度だけ証拠りもなく言わせてほしい。殿君、君は手を引いて全てを忘れるべき。
But I'm just as stubborn as you, so I'm going to say this one more time. Go home, Tono, and forget everything that's happened.
証拠りもないですね。
You really are stubborn, Koji replies, smiling bitterly instead of glaring at her like he did before.
俺がまだ先生や文則とは境界線を挟んだ反対側にいるとでも。
Are you saying that I still haven't crossed the line separating me from you and Fuminori?
君はまだ一番致命的なものまでは見ていない。
You still haven't seen the most damning part of all
君に
this.
とってこの事件は無二の親友がいきなり正気を失ってに目覚めたっていうただそれだけの内容なんだろう。
As far as you're concerned, Ryoko continues with disregarding smirk. Your friends in the whole world suddenly went crazy and became a cannibal. That's all this thing is to you, isn't it? That's all. The things that Fuminori has done are so horrifying that Koji's only recourse, his only hope of coping, is to kill the man who was once his friend. Yet despite that, Ryoko makes this nightmare sound like just the beginning. Koji still doesn't understand where her morbid cynicism comes from, nor does he want to know. This makes me wonder if she did hunt those things before. No, she didn't. I know she didn't because at the true ending, Ryoko did say, I wish I could see you, Saya. At least like once. She did say that. Okay, I'm wrong.
それだけじゃないとしたら残りは先生の妄想なんじゃないですか。
You say there is something more, but aren't you just imagining it?
そう思えるならまだ君の傷は浅いってことさ。
See, that's how I know your wounds are still shallow. Her brusque tone says that she doesn't care whether or not Koji is satisfied with her
今
explanation.
ならまだ時間が君の傷を癒してくれるだろう。君は最後の一線を踏み越えていない。
If you back out now, you'll probably heal given time. You haven't crossed the final line yet. Koji considers Ryoko's words calmly, without letting her himself get emotional like before. The final line, true, Fuminori is somewhere beyond that. Although Koji has gone far enough to be willing to kill Fuminori, he has no intention of eating his enemy's flesh once he's dead. That at least still separates the two. Then what about Ryoko, who has treated Koji like an ignorant fool ever since she saved him from that well? How close is she to Fuminori?
先生の傷は俺よりも深いと。
You're saying your wounds are deeper than mine. In response to Koji's biting question, Ryoko mockingly smiles, turns
こ
inward.
の銃はね、実家の父のものなんだ。
This gun was my father's, you know. Ryoko pets one of her duffel bag bulges.
こいつがロッカーから消えたせいで、父は責任を問われて地元の猟友会から除名させられた。
His hunting club kicked him out when he disappeared from his locker.
申し訳ないと思ってるよ。私は両親にとっては自慢の娘なんだ。それが金庫の銃を盗み出すなんて想像もしてないだろう。
I feel bad about that. My parents were always proud of me. They probably never even suspected that I was the one who took it.
そうするだけの必要が。
So you had a good reason for taking it?
いいや、全然。
No, not at all. Her quick denial isn't what Koji was expecting.
その頃にはもう王外のことは一見落着していた。少なくとも私はそう思っていた。
At the time, the Ogai's mess had already ended. At least that's what I thought.
奴は姿を消したきり、もう二度と私の前には現れないだろうと安心してた。
He'd vanished without a trace, and I was sure I'd never see him again.
この銃で何かを撃とうとか、殺そうとか、そういう必要があったわけじゃない。
He'd vanished without a trace, and I was sure I would never see him again. I didn't steal this gun because I needed to shoot someone.
じゃあなぜ
Then why?
眠れなかったんだよ。
Because I couldn't sleep, that's all.
それだけ。
Ryoko pauses, perhaps needing time to decide how best to explain.
それまではベッドサイドにナタを隠しておいたんだ。夜一人で部屋にいるのが耐えられなくてね。
Until then, she continues, choosing her words carefully. I was sleeping with a machete next to my bed. I couldn't stand being alone at night, you see.
どんなに世界が底抜けにめちゃくちゃになっていこうと、悲鳴を上げて逃げ回る以外の選択肢が自分にはあるんだって。
I still needed to know that no matter what horrors the world might hold, I still had some power against the madness.
そう納得させるためにはね。
I needed a weapon I could count on. Koji doesn't know what to say. He's amazed, impressed even that someone with such a serious case of delusion paranoia could function as one of the T University's top doctors. It didn't work though. My nightmares kept on getting worse. A machete just wasn't enough to let me sleep peacefully. That's when I stole my father's gun. By cutting the barrel down like this, the shot spreads over a wider area and causes more damage. Oh, she's talking about the sawed-off shotgun. I heard that even in America, carrying a sawed-off shotgun is a crime. But with this gun sitting in the back of my closet, I was finally able to sleep. 1 night out of 3, that is. At this point, Ryoko seems to have gotten everything off her chest, smiling like someone who has just finished a hard job, she adds. A gun's a great thing to have, you know, it really is. You can use it to blow your enemies away, and if that doesn't work, you can always stick it in your mouth and pull the trigger. Okay, but like, hey. Okay, the doctor is crazy. Is she? Like, if I would have seen something like that, I would have fucking agree, actually. Hey, I'd put a ring on her. I'd put a ring on her. Yup. Boy, okay, fuck yeah. Doctor, you need help. Thanks for the honest opinion. You won't be able to talk like that for much longer, though. Not if you go any further. Koji is already doubtful that meeting with Ryoko was the only thing to do. The meeting. The one thing that he and Ryoko have in common is an unwillingness to leave Fuminori to the proper authorities. Fuminori not only killed Koji's lover and friend, but even went as far as to defile their corpses. Koji isn't about to give him the chance to get off on an insanity plea. No matter what crimes he must commit, Koji will end Fuminori with his own 2 hands. If he doesn't, he knows that he will never sleep ever again. It helps to have a partner in crime, but only when that partner doesn't cause trouble. Ryoko talks big about exposing all Guy's secrets, but she might just have a head full of delusions. If so, Koji needs to rethink this whole thing. If you're telling me to leave this to you, Koji says with unflappable determination, then please give me some reason to trust you. Prove to me there is a reason for you to be so obsessed with Ogai. Show me what he did. That's a good one. So you're determined to go all the way, oh well. Ryoko smirks and shakes her head refusefully, but puts up no further resistance. She pulls a stack of paper from her bag, hands it to Koji. The loose leaf sheets are bound with a string.
1行読んだら続きは次のページの同じ行だ。まあ 触りだけでも読んでみると
After you read one line, it continues to the same line of the next page. Anyway, just skim it. As directed, Koji looks through the handwritten pages and gives up after less than 3 minutes.
怪奇 SF の装甲か何かですか。罪のない悪ふざけで
Is
す
this
ね。
a draft for a horror novel or something? I didn't think Ogai had such a childish hobbies. Koji deliberately scoffs at the document, doing everything he can to show contempt for what he just read. At the same time, he tries to desperately not to remember the mountain of bones in Ogai's bathtub and the unidentifiable smell permeating from Minori's house.
1年前オーガイがうちの大学に持ってきた資料も
The specimens that Ogai brought to the hospital 1 year ago were just as unbelievable, Ryoko says, coldly ignoring Koji's disdain.
やつは大学の
Apparently, he continued his research in secret, using our supplies without permission.
だがドジを踏ん
But
で
he made a mistake and was discovered. That's when things got crazy.
オーガイが使おうとした
Judging by the
機材から
equipment he
察
was
するに
trying to use, he was meant to treat his experiment as a P3 level biohazard. P3 is like... Hold on. This makes me wonder, how high is a P3 biohazard? Hold on. Give me... ちょっと待って. I have to check. P3 biohazard, huh? How high is P3 biohazard? P3? High risk, ranking as the 3rd highest of the 4 established biosafety levels. Wow. Examples: tuberculosis. Fucking hell. Okay. Fuck it. Okay, so it's equal to the level of tuberculosis, basically.
その程度の用心で十分だったの
To
か
be honest, even that might not have been sufficient for what he was dealing with. It did say P4 is max? Or P5? I think. We should have evacuated the nearby civilians, but the big shots did their thing and made the whole mess disappear. In exchange, we were left with the task of exterminating every single rat on campus, including the things that used to be rats. At their first meeting, Ryoko brushed Koji off when he asked about Ogai Masahiko. Now, however, she's telling the whole story, her voice flat and emotionless as a machine's. In the end, everyone gave up trying to explain what had happened. No one could figure out where his materials had come from, or what they were. In retrospect, they did the wise thing. They knew how to keep the line between reality and fantasy where it should be. I unfortunately was not so wise. Ryoko pauses for a moment, then grins, with a self-disdain to a maniacal that it strikes Koji like a blow. I searched everywhere for Ogai, flushed him out, and finally learned that what he'd been doing. I found the peoples he'd been dealing with and who'd encourage him to perform his experiments. There was more? That's when I started sleeping with a machete. I'd learned just how absurd, how hollow, how worthless our precious reason is. As though fleeing from the quiet insanity that he keeps glimpsing in Ryoko, Koji finds himself paging through the low sleeves in his hands. He reads a line at random. The organism's flesh is not fibrous, but reticulated. Put simply, it is an extremely tough substance that expands and contracts, not in one direction but in all directions. This means that slashing and piercing damage has very little effect, since the flesh can contract in any direction freely. Any wound would be sealed instantly. It's nonsense, what else can it be? If he lets himself believe it, then everything else, all the logical rules that define the world, will be rendered meaningless. Do you believe what's in this, doctor?
疑う理由なんてとっくの昔
I
に見
lost
失った
any
から
reason to doubt it a long time ago. Ryoko reaches into her duffel bag again, this time removing a stainless steel thermos. Looks like able to hold about 500 cc's of liquid.
こいつがサヤを倒す切り札だ調達するのに
This is the secret weapon that we'll use to defeat Saya. It was a great pain to get, but it should work like a charm.
ついていけません。
I can't take this anymore. Koji snaps, no longer able to disguise his frustration.
サヤが何だろうともうどうでもい
I
いで
don't
す。
care what Saya is. All I
海
care
を終わらせることができれば
about is
それでいい
killing Fuminori. I can't leave this to you.
そうか
I see. Now that she's given up on persuading him, her ascent is fit and cold. At this moment, Koji's fate has likely ceased to matter to
いい
her.
だろう君は先坂文則を仕留めるために全力を尽くすといい
Alright then, you do everything you can to take
私もその木に乗じさせてもらう
Sakisaka down. I'll take advantage of the opening you
君の
create.
邪魔はしないし
I won't get in your
君
way.
が潜んじた時
And
は
I'll even take care of
きちん
things
と
when you
私の帳尻を合
screw
わ
up.
せてやる
Despite the determination in her voice, Koji can't bring himself to trust this paranoid doctor completely.
あなたの持ち合わせている理
Do
由
you
で
have a reason
緑
to
を
kill
殺せるんですか
Fuminori?
潔癖症なんだよ私は
I like
ああやって
things
人の世界が
neat
間違い
and
に隠れ
tidy.
住んでいるよう
I
な
can't stand people like him who lurk outside the world.
奴らは寝室のゴキ
They're
ブリ
like
だ
cockroaches in your bedroom. Can you sleep with them
枕元でカサゴソ這い回る音を無視して
scuttling under your pillow? Fucking disgusting.
見つけ次第殺して駆逐するそうせずにはいられない私の精神衛生上の問題だ
The moment I found one, I kill it and stamp it out of all trace of its existence. I have to, for the sake of my mental well-being. Her reasons are similar to Koji's own. He doesn't want to bring a murder to justice, nor does he want revenge for Ome and Yo. If he did, he could have left everything to the police. The reason he can is that the villain is Fuminori. The man he believed was his friend has turned his whole world upside down. Everything and everyone with a part in this madness is to blame, and that includes himself for allowing the betrayal. His self-loathing, his desire to destroy is what keeping him on his feet.
それじゃあチェックメイトに駒を進めよう
Okay, let's move in for the checkmate. Go ahead and call Sakisa out. Koji nods, pulls out his cell phone and calls his friend for what will probably be the last time. The call goes through quickly. Fuminori must have been waiting for
待た
it.
せたな文則こっちの準備は整った
Sorry to keep you waiting, Fuminori. I finished my preparations. Koji, where are you? Fuminori must have been quite anxious to hear from Koji. His voice is hard and completely emotionless.
お前のすぐ背後
Let's just say I'm right behind you. Koji can't help but smile at Fuminori's disappointment. Perhaps Ryoko's maniacal sadism has rubbed off on him.
筑波を解放する決心はついた
Well, have you decided to let Tsukuba go? Yeah, I suppose I have no choice. He's lying, Koji thinks, remembering the contents of Fuminori's refrigerator. Just what part of Yo did you eat, huh? Did you carve that poor girl up like a pig? Bring your evidence along with the files you've gathered. When I'm satisfied that they're all the real thing, I'll hand you over.
いいだろう
Fine, where? First come to Y station on the O line. When I'm sure that you're alone, I'll tell you the exact location.
念の言った話だな
You're being awfully careful. No tricks, you have 45 minutes. Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response.
俺が単独なのを
He won't tell me his locations until he's sure I'm alone.
ただの医大生にしちゃ心得てるな
Not bad for a medical student, I'm impressed. You're a medical student too, what the fuck are you talking about? Ryoko's praise sounds serious, drawing a glare from Koji.
私の車はここに置いていこう
We'll leave my car here. Is your trunk large enough to fit
人一人が入
me
る隙間は
inside?
大丈夫ですが
Yeah, but are you serious? You've seen too many movies.
そんじょそこいらの映画よりは
This adventure is more dangerous than anything you've seen in a movie. With those bold whirls, Ryoko grabs her duffel bag and rises from her seat. Weren't you the one who chose to meet here?
そうですが、
Yeah, why?
コーヒーの責任を
Take
取れ
responsibility for the coffee, she says, and tosses him the check. Yeah, to be honest, at that stage, I don't think money is much of a problem. Because you are with the utmost likeliness, like, counting to die, right? If you're going up against, basically an alien, even after Koji arrives at Y Station is directed, Fuminori calls him and makes him change locations 3 more times. Koji is beginning to doubt that Fuminori is watching. He might just be using the time to guess when Koji arrives at each designated location. Nevertheless, Koji can't let his guard down. Fuminori might choose any moment to make sure that he's alone. If he makes a mistake and puts Fuminori on alert, Ryoko will lose her chance to take him by surprise. She'll just have to put up with the cramped trunk for a little while longer. After the nature preserves and the dry riverbed and 4th location to which Fuminori sends Koji is in the thick forest at the top of the foothills, high above the developed area at their base. His car's GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori, there should be an old abandoned sanatorium there. The park and river were empty this late at night, but during the day would likely have considerable traffic this time. However, his instinct is telling him it's definitely a place that no one could find, not even by accident. Oh, it's dark. It looks like this is the final stop. Koji drives up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighborhood behind. Even through the hands of progress are right at its doorstep. The underdeveloped forest is darker than he expected. This looks like a great place to live in secret, or to kill someone and hide the body. Places like this, lost and forgotten, aren't found only in deep jungles and hidden alleyways. Holes in the world are everywhere, even in the midst of civilizations. That is true also. A broken down gate post suddenly appears in Koji's headlights, like a ghost rising from the darkness. It looks like this is the final stop. He rolls up to the gate and turns off the engine, giving himself to the silence of the forest. His phone stops ringing almost immediately. He doesn't need to check from who it is.
着いたぞ。
I'm here. Yeah, I heard you. Welcome to my new home. Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shiver of excitement shoots up of Koji's spine. Come inside, Yo's waiting. Fuminori hangs up without another word. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket, Koji opens the door, making sure to pop the trunk at exactly the right time. Ryoko shouldn't need any more explanation after that. Realizing that the interior roof light will stay on and broadcast that the trunk isn't closed, Koji quickly unscrews the light bulb, then gets out of the car, deliberately slams the driver's side door hard. Mountains of trash litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerators and mopeds to huge chunks of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction workers. The fact that they could get away with leaving all this stuff behind shows just how remote this place is. Glancing sidelong at the rear of his car, Koji sees no movement inside the barely open trunk. Ryoko knows what she's doing. She'll probably wait until Fuminori's attention is focused on Koji before making her move. The moon is brighter than usual, allowing Koji to walk through the front yard without ripping on debris. Staying alert, he heads for the building beyond the mountain of trash. Something must be buried underneath the piles of garbage, but the whole yard is filled with the sharp stink of chemicals. Even the homeless probably wouldn't come to this place. If you need to get out of the wind and rain, there are plenty of shelters more suitable. Sheesh. When he reaches the gaping doorless entrance to the building. Koji glances back at the way he came. His car, parked at the gate, is hidden behind the mountain of trash. Even if Fuminori is watching from inside the sanatorium, he shouldn't be able to see Ryoko crawl out of the trunk. It looks like she'll get here, her chance to take him by surprise. How many times now has he stood like this, alone in some ominously silent place, far removed from his everyday life? Sneaking into deadly quiet houses to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. The house that he explored before were like freshly scat cicada shells, empty and dilapidated, but with traces of life they had sheltered. This place, however, is different, a perfect ruin. Its walls and pillars rising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts, with no sign at all that people once lived and worked here. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and the elements have stripped it from its former shape, and now there is only death. Koji has gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji, but how? Just as he's about to turn his flashlight, Koji reconsiders. If he wanders around with the light on, he'll be broadcasting his exact location. That will give the advantage to Fuminori, who's probably lying in wait for him right now. He holds the light before him in his left hand with his finger poised on the switch. In his right hand he raises the revolver, keeping it pointed at the same direction. Now ready to fire when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly into the dark ruin. Whoa. It takes a while for his eyes to adjust, but even when they do, he has only moonlight streaming through the empty windows to guide him. Everything appears grey and distinct. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same condition if he's hiding here. This is a battle of nerves, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound, give away his position, will lose. The rooms on both sides of the hallway are all open. Some are even missing their doors. Koji creeps up to each entrance, checks to make sure no one is inside, then carefully proceeds on. The thing that he noticed in the garden has changed. The thing that he noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotting meat. It's the exact same smell that filled Fuminori's house. The organism's flesh freely expands in a manner that renders piercing damage meaningless. Koji grits his teeth and forces the madman's words out of his head. What good can come of taking them seriously? This isn't the time for such useless... Squish. Koji freezes and stares down the hall. It was a wet sound that he had heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through a swamp. And it came from the room at the end of the hallway. Something is there, something alive. Koji creeps towards the sound, his light and gun at the ready. That should be Omi. I think. Squish, squish. Now it sounds like someone squeezing mud through their fingers. As if he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for a chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. As he processed the strange sounds coming through the cracks in the concrete walls grow clear. It is her. Before he knows it, he is standing on the threshold. The room is filled with a thick, viscous darkness, just like every other room that he'd passed. There is more than just darkness, however. Something is there. He can hear painted breathing, like that of a wounded animal, and what sound like sobbing. Sobbing? Who's there? Koji whispers into the darkness. Now that he's given away his position, he might as well turn on the light. For some reason, however, Koji feels that to do so would be disastrous consequences. Would have. Smart. Last time he broke. The last time I heard her voice on the phone, she was sobbing. The wheezing suddenly stops. And then... Koji. A whisper comes out of the dark, though not a human voice, not by mere measure. It speaks some blasphemous semblance of human words. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dots in Koji's mind. Tsukuba. It can be. Yoho doesn't sound like this. She doesn't smell like this. Please, Koji, kill me. But if it's not Yo, then how does it know his name? Why is it begging him for help? No, it can't be Yo. She's human, not some creature that slithers and hides in the shadows. It hurts. This body always hurts. It does make you wonder if Saya is always in pain too then. I don't think so. Save me, Koji. The thing wriggles closer. His reason cries out, imploring him to switch the lights on before it's too late, or to turn and run if he cannot. But Koji is unable to make either choice. He can only call out in vain to an amorphous shape in the darkness. Is it you, Tsukuba? Is it really you? Let me die. No more, please kill me. Something soft and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Instinct overrides his will, forcing him to turn on his flashlight and shine it at his feet. The white beam reveals everything, the merciless truth that finally shatters Koji's sanity. Wow, so no matter which path you take, motherfucker loses his mind instantly. So it must look really Lovecraftian then. Terror wipes his mind of all but two words, gun and trigger. His finger responds with instant obedience. Yeah. There is an explosion of light and a sound, both intense, and he anticipated. And then the destructive forces are swallowed up by the darkness. His ears are still leaking from the bang, but he hears a weak voice coming from the shadows. It hurts. Koji screams and pulls the trigger again and again, certain that salvation can come only when the barrel of his gun. Light and darkness, explosion and silence, they dance before him 3 more times. Koji doesn't even need to aim. The horrible creature is right at its feet, far too close to miss. Ryoko warned him how many bullets were left in his gun, but that information has already driven from his mind. Even after the cold, heavy gloom wraps itself around him. Once more, Koji keeps pulling the trigger like a man possessed, paying no heed to the clicking of the empty weapon. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, sending him down hard on his backside. Even then, he keeps firing the gun. He knows no other way to erase the memory of the thing that he glimpsed in the beam of his flashlight. The light, which fell from his hand during the attack, is now pointing at a different direction. Although all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last card to play, which leaves him alone. In the darkness, with no way to defend himself, and just as he realizes, a massive floating flash rolls over him like a tidal wave. Whoa. So this is the same as the true ending. He can no longer even scream as this thing pushes him onto his back. With fear seizing into his throat, an iron grip, Koji struggles desperately against the monster. It crawls up on his body towards his face. So it is like basically eldritch alien entity, yeah. Covering his face with his left hand, he scribbles wildly along the floor with his right, searching for a way out that doesn't exist. His mind is that of a feral animal, empty of everything but primal terror. And that is why when his right hand closes around something hard, at the last moment he recognizes it instinctively as a weapon. Pulling every ounce of strength into his arm, Koji swings the heavy object at the creature on top of him. His heart, the thud of a blood object, striking something soft and wet. And then Koji's attacker rolls off of him. Soon as he is able to move again, Koji leaps to his feet and grabs his new weapon with both hands, brandishing it like a charm to ward off evil. Only now does he realize that he's holding a rusty steel pipe. Well, you did heard it. The monster is still sobbing. Oh, he actually did went mental on her. With a cry that is part scream, part roar, Koji raises the steel pipe and brings it crashing down on the covering creature. He hears a wet sound and feels like blood-chilling sensation of its thick, soft flesh absorbing the blow. These combine to evoke an instinctive loathing that wipes his mind of all but the urge to destroy. Die, die. Consumed by the same desperation with which he kept firing the empty gun, Koji rains blow after blow on his enemy. After the 10th blow, it stops sobbing. After the 20th blow, it stops moving. After the 30th blow, it feels and sounds more like he's beating a puddle of viscous liquid. Koji doesn't stop thrashing at the creature until he recovers enough of his senses to realize whatever it had been before, it is now nothing but a corpse. So it can be killed with blunt force though. It can. Or at least the version that Saya made, not the original. The pipe in his hand, covered with unidentifiable liquid and filth, suddenly feels unbearably heavy. Oh boy. You still haven't seen the most damning part of all this. Ryoko's voice plays back in his head. And at last, he knows how merciful her warnings was. Now that his eyes are as open as hers, he is able to laugh in contempt of his own foolishness. 20 years of memories in the light of the sun. If they were indeed precious to him, then he would have never have come to this place. The black flames of despair rise within him, consuming fear and revulsion and pity. Only rage and hate remain. Every cell in his body cries out for vengeance. For the blood of the man who poisoned him with the truth and tore him from the womb of innocence. And then Koji, slave to hate, hears the sound of someone sneaking up behind him. Koji swings, swinging his pipe with all his force he can muster. His enemy hastily steps back to avoid the strike, surprised by his failure to catch Koji off guard. Twisted shadows dance in the beam of the light on the floor. Readying his pipe for the next blow, Koji faces off against his second attacker, Sakisaka Fuminori. Before this moment, Koji could never have imagined that he would ever speak his friend's name with such hatred. Hey, that was a pretty heavy swing just now. You trying to kill me or something? Even now, Fuminori is smiling, as though that huge axe is in his hands. It's just a sick joke. Damn, Koji, I thought you'd hesitate. You thought I'd hesitate against you. Koji sneers too, unable to contain his contempt for the notion. How did you kill Ome, you piece of shit? What did you do to Tsukuba? After all, you expect me to think twice about killing you? That's my line, Koji. Fuminori growls, looking sadly at a pile of dead flesh at Koji's feet. How could you do such a horrible thing to Yo? I'll make sure you suffer before I kill you. The blade of Fuminori's axe carves a murderous arc through the darkness, glimmering menacingly in the faint light coming from the floor. Koji raises his okay, so this is the fight. This fight is the same. Yeah, it is the same. He can't win as long as he's on the defensive. He needs to create an opportunity to attack. Yeah, it is the same as before. Fuminori grunts and retreats, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji from following up with another attack. Koji, however, does not press his advantage. He just stands where he is, calmly spearing Fuminori with his stare. You've never been in a fight, have you? Fuminori roars and comes in for another attack, but the damage to his right leg seems to be slowing his swing. Easily blocking the axe with his pipe, Koji awaits Fuminori to exhaust himself. Die, die. Fuminori delivers blow after heavy blow, howling savagely all the while. What he does not realize, however, is that the situation now favors composure, not brute force. When Fuminori raises his axe high for another attack, Koji sees that his movements have grown dull enough. Seizing the opportunity, Koji charges into Fuminori's range and grabs the shaft of the axe with his left hand. As Fuminori recoils from fear, Koji swings his pipe hard at the enemy's unprotected side. He feels the crutch of ribs breaking. The pain drives Fuminori to his knees. Staring down at Fuminori's defenseless head, Koji, surprised by his own lack of emotion, raises his pipe high, delivering the finishing blow, which is when something wraps itself around his left ankle. What? Another. The instant Koji panics, the unexpected sensation, something soft yet strong, binds itself around his right leg and drags him to the floor before he can resist. He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at the unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand too is seized by the same flexible force. He wasn't able to feel it through his pants, but now his blood turns to ice cold, slimy sensation of the thing wrapped around the uncovered wrists. That monster's still alive. That's it, Saya, Fuminori says grudgingly. Even while kneeling on the floor, his face twisted in pain, he manages a terrible victorious grin. Saya. This monster is Saya. Koji struggles desperately to free his limbs from the creature's slimy grip, but more tentacles wrap all over his body, stealing his freedom of movement. The horror has already driven Koji half mad. Just imagining the creature's appearance is enough to send him into a mindless panic. His scream suddenly cut off as a slimy appendage seizes his throat. This most deadly tentacle isn't just cutting off his windpipe, it's trying to snap its neck, and it's getting tighter. Koji is certain that this is the end, but just as his vision begins to dim, an explosion brings him back to his senses. Scream! With a horrifying inhuman scream, the creature releases Koji from its retracts and retracts its tentacles. The first thing he sees after regaining his mobility is Ryoko heading down the hall with a smoking shotgun in one hand and a silver tube in another. Doctor. Ryoko responds by tossing him the tube. Though still lying on the floor, he manages to snatch it out the air. It's thermos she showed him at the restaurant, the one she called her secret weapon. Pour it on that thing, Ryoko shouts to Koji. At the same time, she aims her gun at Fuminori, who's still on his knees 5 paces away. The double-barreled shotgun is still one shot loaded. The monster that attacked Koji is writhing in agony. It hasn't yet recovered from Ryoko's shot, but he's already seen that bullets aren't enough to kill these creatures. Now is his only chance. What are you doing? Fuminori growls, gritting his teeth against the pain of his broken ribs. Forcing himself to be calm, Koji stands and carefully unscrews the lid of the thermos. There is no question in his mind that something extremely potent is inside. As soon as he unleashes a thick white mist pours out of the thermos, and the surrounding air turns freezing cold. Instantly guessing what's inside, Koji lobs the thermos at a pile of flesh convulsing on the floor. The thermal sails through the air, spewing a white foam, and like a baptismal foam shower, the liquid contents upon the hellish creature. Oh, it is liquid nitrogen. It screamed. This time it's incomparable to before. The monster thrashes in agony. Whether in white smoke, its screams are joined by Ryoko's cackling. She lost it. That's minus 197 degrees, you fucking monster. How it's feel? Cold, hot, not so tough now, are you? Perhaps the joy of vanquishing her nightmare was worth the last remnants of her sanity. The manic glee blazing in her eyes can belong only to a shattered mind. Monstrous, I'll kill you. Fuminori staggers to his feet, roaring like curses. His rage seems to have drowned out the pain of his broken bones. Kyoko is not one to underestimate the threat posed by his axe. Her mad laugh fades away, only a cold smile as she pulls the trigger. With a short burst of black flame, Ryoko's gun spurs and dies. Oh, she got a fucking dud? Lol, what a timing. I wasn't expecting a fucking dud. Ryoko is not a firearm expert, and it never occurred to her that the shotgun shells need proper storage. Bro! And besides, she always expected that any situation where her gun would be necessary would also be that one she would not survive. Cursing in anger and dismay, Ryoko breaks the shotgun open and awkwardly pulls out the dud out. Meanwhile, Fuminori stalks towards her like a vengeful demon, the head of his axe skewing as he drags along the floor. I have to stop him. Koji tries to charge Fuminori, but only succeeds at seizing him sprawling. One of his shoes is stuck on the floor, frozen by the liquid nitrogen. As Ryoko fumbles in her pocket for a new shell, Fuminori closes the distance and raises the axe in both hands. Down. Koji curses and rips his toad free of the frozen concrete, but he knows he'll never make it in time. Ryoko thrusts a new shell into the chamber of her shotgun and snaps it closed, then looks up to find her target. Fuminori is right before her, too close to evade, and his axe is already crashing down, with wind howling in its wake. Stop. The sound of bones shattering, tendons snapping, and flesh tearing blend together in a foul harmony. Oh, the doctor is dead. The thick blade enters through Ryoko's shoulder, left shoulder, plowing through her collarbone and shoulder blade, smashing several ribs, popping her lungs like a balloon before stopping at the center of her chest. Her expression frozen in shock by the impact. She sprays a geyser of blood from her mouth. She should have died instantly, but through some unimaginable force of will, Ryoko clings to life for a few seconds more. Grinning through bloodstained lips, she raises her shotgun. Okay, but like, put a fucking crown on this queen. She might be crazy as a dog, but holy mother of fuck, is she a queen? Not the front, but to the side. Beyond the barrel of her gun, wearing the 77-degree Kelvin mist, like a white cloak of death, is the weakly ringing Saya. No. Whoa. Fuminori's scream vanishes into the roar of the shotgun. She actually killed Saya? Wait, bro, I did not... The destruction is obsolete. The impact of the shotgun pellets obliterates the half of Saya's body that fell prey to the liquid nitrogen. The frozen particles of Saya's shattered flesh drift to the floor like snow. Even the creature's special biology is insufficient to seal a wound of this size. From the opening pore, its internal organs, a tide of liquid, slime, and fat, whose color is far too foul to belong to any living creature. Saya actually died? The monster convulses, wailing in a weak, pitiful voice.
Saya.
Bro, you can... Saya died? Bro, like, hey, that doctor is crazy. That doctor is crazy. Bro. With his egg still buried in Ryoko's body, Fuminori stares at the dying creature with expression utterly devoid of emotion. Koji grabs his pipe and prepares to attack Fuminori from behind, but freezes when he sees the emptiness on the face of the man he hated. Fuminori pulls his eggs out of Ryoko's corpse and looks at Koji with glazed eyes. There is no recognition in them, nor hatred nor rage. When Koji meets Fuminori's blank stare, he knows there is nothing left in him to kill. Fuminori grips the eggs closer to his head and raises it high, the blades towards his face. Koji doesn't know whether he should interfere, but even if he wanted to, what could he say to stop Fuminori? Fuminori pulls his head back slowly, then he drives his face into the blade of the eggs like a spring-loaded toy. Crunch, his skull carves with a dull thud. Wet sound, the spray of blood catches Koji in the face. Despite Fuminori's utter lack of hesitation, his first attempt at suicide succeeds only in transforming his face into a hash full of crimson. Fuminori pulls back his head and one more time he lowers even slower than before. Then, with every ounce of his strength still left in his body, he slams it into the blood-stained eggs. The science is wetter than before. Fuminori's body goes limp, then tumbles face first to the floor. Koji stares at the two mangled corpses for a while. He feels completely left behind, like he can't remember why he's standing in this place with a steel pipe in his hand. The stale air filling the ruined building becomes choked with the stench of blood and crimson puddles casually spread across the snow-covered floor. Yet the tranquility of the scene makes it seem like a painting. A soft, slimy sound breaks the silence. Koji looks at the morality wounded monster. The creature is on death's door, but even so, it moves softly, feebly. It drags its broken body through the sea of blood. It's coming for Fuminori. Koji had forgotten his anger, but now it comes surging back at full force. Die. Bro, at least let them die together. Like, I get it. I understand. Yeah, I understand why he's... yeah. He growls and stabs the monster with the end of his pipe. It convulses in agony, but he keeps crawling towards Fuminori until Koji explodes into a frenzy of rage. Die, you monster, just die already. Again and again, he smashes helpless flesh beast. Smashes the helpless flesh beast with his pipe. Something tells him that if he does not stop here, he will truly have lost. The monster, however, never succumbs. It staggers on beneath his blows until finally it reaches Fuminori's corpse. Don't touch him, damn you. What gives you the right? Koji keeps swinging his fury unabated, even as tears start to pool in his eyes. The monster's slime flies through the air, joining with the blood already covered his face. The creature extends one thin, trembling tentacle to touch Fuminori's shoulder, and a loving, careless touches his blood-stained cheek. And then it stops moving. Even in its final moments, the monster would not let Fuminori go. It died joined with him. At last, Koji knows that the world he loved is gone forever. Holy fuck, that's okay. That's crazy. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. Hey, Omi says into his... Omi? The exposed bones of her face clattering. Why don't we go somewhere we can skate for this year's sky trip? Chunks of her body are missing, as though something is busy nibbling on her. It makes her look a lot thinner. She's been worried about her weight recently, but now she just shouldn't need to diet.
そういえばオウミってこの間初めてスケートやったんだって
What? Fuminori laughs at Omi's crazy suggestion. That's right. You just started skating recently, didn't you? Okay. Fuminori laughs at Omi's crazy suggestion. That's right. Yeah, he sounds amused, but it's hard to tell from his expressions, since his face has been cleaved in two by an axe.
20歳になって初体験ってのは
Not many people start skating in their 20s, you know.
子供の頃はなんとなく怖かったのよ。あの靴、なんだか刃物みたいでさ。
I was scared when I was little. Those shoes look like big knives.
わかる。あの靴で顔を蹴られたら
Yeah, I
僕みたい
know.
になっちゃうよね。
If someone kicked you in the face with one of those, you'll probably end up like me. Oh my lord. Omi and Yoh laugh at Fumino's dumb joke. Yoh never used to laugh with such exuberance. She seems truly happy now that she and Fuminori are officially together.
でも、いきなり蹴って。
But you were able to kill him on your first try. That's amazing, Omi.
容量はバットとそう変わるもんじゃないからな。思い切り振り回して、斧頭の重さに任せて叩きつける感覚。
Holy fuck. Oh my fucking lord. It's sort of like playing baseball. Oh my lord. You swing hard and let the weight of the axe do the damage.
文則にそう言われたもんだからさ、騙されたと思ってやってみたわけよ。
He made killing him sound so easy. I figured I'd give it a try. It was a fun. What is this feeling? Something is wrong, though Koji can't put finger on what.
私も見てみたいな。
Oh well, I want to try eating Ome too. And that's it. When he sees Yoke's endless smile, Koji finally realizes what's bothering him.
なあ、つくば。
Hey Tsukuba. Huh? What's wrong?
お前だけなんで
Why are you normal?
普通なんだ
Yoke tilts her head quizzically, like she doesn't understand what he means. Normal? I'm always
私はい
normal.
つも普通。
でもお前
But back then you were...
ああ、
Oh, I get it. Yoke nods in understanding.
なんだ。私がコウジ君と違う姿になって
You're
た頃
talking about when I look different from you.
随分昔の話
That was such a long
だ。
time ago.
昔
It was?
そうだよ。
Of course, she replies, reflecting Koji's confusion with that uncanny cheerful smile.
だってコウジ君も今じゃ。
After all, you're one of us now. Oh, of course. Koji looks down and is satisfied to see wriggling tentacles where his arms and legs should be. What? When he opens his eyes, his mattress and pillows are soaked in sweat. It's always the same nightmare. He doesn't know how many times he's had it. But at least he's not leaping out of bed screaming anymore. He sits up, clutching his throbbing head. It's 4 in the morning. He hasn't had nearly enough rest, but he probably won't be able to go back to sleep tonight. Time for a smoke. A full pack will last him until dawn. Now, where did he put the pack he bought yesterday? Koji wanders sleepily into the den, where another old friend is waiting for
ひ
him.
どいありさまだね。まったく。
What? You look like hell. Doctor, you're here too. Ryoko's chopped up corpse is sitting at the dinner table, looking as deathly pale as ever as she sips coffee from a mug.
毎晩ずいぶんと辛そうじゃないか。ろくに眠れてないんだろ。
You can't be getting much sleep, tossing and turning like that every night.
そうでもないですよ。薬を飲めば割となんとかなります。
It's not always like this, Koji says amicably as he sits down across from her. If I take some pills, it usually helps for now. Hallucinations like these are easier to deal with than the elaborated nightmares like the one he just had. They should probably worry him more though.
あの時私の忠告を聞き入れてれば、ここまで追い詰められることなんてなかっただろうに。
If you'd listened to my warnings back then, you wouldn't be in such a bad shape
もうや
now.
めましょうよ、それは。過ぎたことじゃないです。
Let's stop talking about that. What's done is done. Ryoko chuckles, smiles the same cruel, maniac smile that she used to when she was alive. Her left arm hangs from her half-severed shoulder, dangling like a forgotten wind
そ
chime.
う。結構折り合いをつけてるんだ。
Sounds like you've come to terms with
先
it.
生だってそうだったんでしょう。普段は優秀な脳外科医で通用してたんだから。
You were the same, weren't you? You managed to pass yourself off as the elite neurosurgeon most of the
だけ
time.
取り繕うだけなら。そんなに
It's not that
難しいこと
difficult
じゃ
to
ない
keep appearances when you have to. The corpse shrugs her intact shoulder and grimaces in disgust as she takes another sip of her coffee. But it's only going to get worse, you know? Time heals emotional wounds, but with you, it's more like you've been poisoned. She's probably right. Everyone dreams at night. No matter how dim the memories may get, the nightmare will always be there to tear Koji with fresh fangs. The insanity that has taken root in his heart will grow, eventually consuming everything that's left inside of
俺
him.
の場合、先生っていう前例を見て学んでますからね。抜かりはありませんよ。
In my case, I've had you to learn from. I'm ready for anything. Is that so? Koji nods, smiling confidently, then stands and walks to the bathroom, where he retrieves the weapon he keeps hidden behind the mirror. Ogai's revolver, the one souvenir that Koji brought back, from the other world that night.
ものすごい苦労したんですけど。
It was tough. I finally found someone who deals in these
当たりをつけまし
things.
てね。弾も買ってあります。
I bought bullets for it. Can you believe that ammunition is more expensive than the gun
そのものよ
itself?
り高いなんて。
おやおや。
How about that? In the mirror, Koji sees Ryoko with her axe-inflicted gash reversed. She raises her mug in a toast to Koji's resourcefulness.
何発買ったわけ？
So how many shots did you buy?
一発だけです。
Oh, just one. This time it's Koji who shrugs his shoulders. He uses both, exaggerating his privilege as the
そ
survivor.
れ以上必要になるような状況は、俺は願い下げなんで。
You see, I never want to be in the situation where I'll need more. Oh. The corpse in the mirror nods savagely, her smile approving.
ほんと。
You really do get it.
とのく。
There is a brief silence. Koji doesn't really feel like getting all melancholy with a dead woman.
ねえ先生、いい加減ファミレスのコーヒーはやめましょうよ。なんなら新しいの入れますから。
Hey doctor, let's give the dinner coffee a rest. If you want, I'll put another pot of... Koji turns around halfway through his sentence. He realizes that the room is empty, for the silence of the night. And so Koji returns to the world of the sane. He lights his cigarette of the night and takes a deep drag. While sitting alone in a den, puffing on his smoke, he stares at the gun in his hand. He knows just how precarious a cliff he's standing on. The final line of which Ryoko spoke is now, one step behind him. Koji is no longer has anything to protect his soul. Now that Ogai Masahiko's fantasies and Tamborioko's delusions have all become tangible horrors, he knows that insanity and despair truly are. Back in the real world, Sakisaka Fuminori is wanted for several gruesome murders. It didn't take long for someone to discover the stockpile of human meat in the empty Sakisaka and Suzumi's homes. In the 2 refrigerators were found the remains of Suzumi Yosuke, his wife and daughter, and Takahata Omi. They found the clothes and other effects of Tsukabayo, but were unable to locate any trace of her among the various body parts, a fact that made Koji's nightmares all the more vivid. Dr. Tambariakos of the T University Hospital vanished mysteriously around that same time, because she was Fuminori's chief physician. The police had been investigating her connection to his crimes. As for the 2 corpses secretly buried in the backyard of a certain ruin, well, they'll probably never be found, and this incident will become just another cold case. Koji alone knows that what really happened. He has no intention of relieving it, not now and not ever. Ogai's writings were not nonsense, which meant that everything else was. But a fool was it? Who said that men are the lords of creation? Those who can believe in paltry things like human wisdom and valor are those lucky innocents who have not looked into the abyss. Koji can no longer share their blessed ignorance. He knows he had been defiled by the insanity called truth, and he will never believe again. If he had been poisoned, as Ryoko's ghost said, then that poison is none other than the truth itself. Just as pure oxygen is harmful to the body, the naked truth has power to destroy men's minds. Only by diluting it with lies and taking it in small doses can humans maintain a healthy soul. No matter what horrors the world may hold, words spoken by the living Tanbo pass through Koji's mind. I still have some power against the madness. That without a doubt was the comfort that she kept hidden in her bosom, the only thing that allowed her to face her dreams each night. Koji has taken his predecessor's lesson to heart. He's prepared for anything. One bullet is always behind the bathroom mirror, promising him salvation. Okay, that was a horrible ending. Oh, so this was the bad ending, from what Dee told me. Okay, yeah, okay. I love Saya. Like, hey, sure. Whatever the fuck you wish to say, I don't care. Saya is a fucking queen. Like, oh my lord. This, okay. So, that's crazy. That is crazy. She did die by his side in the end. She crawled her basically half ripped off body, because she did lose half. It did say that. While this guy was fucking beating her to death, she wanted just one last piece of freedom, and that was to die by his side. Okay. Bro. What a beautiful world. Like, holy shit. It is a dark, dark world, but holy fuck. What a beautiful one. Actually, it's crazy that this world was released back in 2003. Mind you. That's crazy. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh yeah. So that was all the endings now. The true ending, you can find it in the previous video if you wanna see it. It's the best ending out of all of them. Holy shit. The neutral ending, the one where he goes into the mental hospital, was the worst one, I think. Because motherfucker just basically gives up, and even though Saya does love him extremely a lot, she, you know, she doesn't want to... for him to see her as anything but the Saya that he remembers. So she wants him to remember her as that beautiful thing. Okay. Bro, what the fuck? Okay. Oh, yeah. That second ending, why the fuck did it hit me so hard? That's crazy. Okay. Decensor days, we got all of them. We did. So that was all the endings. Okay, so... that is crazy. Okay, this world is crazy, and like I've been thinking about it for a while, because I did the original recording for the true ending at Friday, so that was like what, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and I had a really long time to think, and this world is fucking beautiful. Like sure, there is fucking murder, cannibalism, rape, there is, you get the idea, torture. It's a really dark story. But in a philosophical point of view, and that is pedophilia, but in a philosophical point of view, just between the, you saw it right now too, just between the relationship between those two, yes, Fuminori did become technically a monster, but like, did he? From his personal point of view, if you were that guy, like, I don't blame him. In a way, like, if I just was in this accident and I saw everyone as nothing but wriggling, disgusting masses of just fleshy monsters, and everything around me would smell fucking disgusting, and everyone would feel slimy and nasty, even the bed that I sleep in, even the sounds that I hear, everything. And then Saya would appear. Full disclosure, even I think I'd go the same route he went. I think very heavily I would. I think it would be 50-50 between me killing myself or me going the same route. Because holy shit, that's crazy. So in this ending, everybody died. Like, everybody died. Just, you know, the guy survived. With extreme trauma and madness. And the only thing that's basically holding him alive is knowing that if he ever needs to pick up the gun again, or if life gets, you know, harder than it already is, he has the one bullet that he needs in his bathroom. That's crazy. I do agree, that is crazy. I love this world. At start, I was like, what the fuck is this world? Because it was extremely disgusting. But like, now after all the endings, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, holy shit. It might be because I've seen like really disgusting shit when I was extremely young. So I am a little bit numb to all of this. But yeah, what a beautiful world. And to think this got created, I mean uploaded back in 2003. The English version got re-uploaded back in 2013. This world is older than me. This is a beautiful world. I understand why it does have so many haters. I do. But like, if I look at it from a philosophical point of view, it's also extremely beautiful because it's basically portraying how love Love is depravity. Basically. Love is depriving of morality and everything in between. Even to this extent, to the point where some people are willing to go this far for something called love, right? Like, yeah, that's a beautiful story. Holy, I'm not gonna be able to get this out of my mind for a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna be... Holy fuck. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to... Okay, that's a beautiful story. I did get quite a bit of hate on on Discord, but that's because, you know, of the things that are in there. But I'm an extremely philosophical person, and holy fuck, this is beautiful in a way. They could have removed the rape completely, not gonna lie. And yeah. Love is depravity. I think that's what this world wants to portray, is that how far or how deep love can go. That it can go just from the love that everybody knows, probably. I never experienced it from first hand. I never fell in love. But like, I think everybody that's watching it did. You know, like the happy-go-lucky, I love you, and she says I love you too, and then you kiss and fuck each other, and that's about it. Maybe die for one another, or hurt for one another, but to be pushed to the extent where you're willing to completely change your surroundings, kill for your love, even fucking eat human flesh for your love, even technically, you know, kidnap and rape someone. This is so weird in a way. I know it was... Holy fuck. World is disgusting, yeah. In a way, it's beautiful though. I will say, I'll die on that hill. I'm gonna need to let this sit through my mind. Because holy motherfuck. I'm not gonna be able to get this out of my... I think the high majority of people have already left. And if you are here, hearing my yapping, that's interesting. You're a true fan. Thank you so much for all the support. But yeah, holy shit, yeah, I did break. I did tear up, which I don't do ever. Well, usually it has to be a world like this, which doesn't happen that often. If there is anyone in the comment section that knows of any other world that is similar to this one, that you would very heavily recommend, please slide. Literally slide it to me. This one was really beautiful in a way. I don't think I'll ever get it out of my head. Ever. Like, I have seen bad things. That's why I am so numb to it, right? Like, I have seen, back when I was fucking 13, a Japanese girl getting burnt alive while, you know, a stick was up her fucking stomach. So, I've seen I should... Do your viewer discretion advised? Yeah, skip this. I've seen on the dark web when I was fucking, what, 12, 13 years old? I saw a girl put a knife up her coochie and carve out her insides. So I am extremely numb to all of this. I haven't been on the dark web since, because it did leave quite the fucking PTSD, to say the least. In a way, but holy fuck, this world was in a way beautiful. They did love each other, like completely loved each other. There was not a doubt in their mind, in neither of those two minds. Saya did love him, and he did love her extremely a lot. I do think the ending where he went into the mental hospital was an extreme mistake on his part. I think he did blurt it out just because he didn't think it through, canonically. I do think the bad ending, or the perceived bad ending, I'm not gonna lie, I think dying with your loved one is much better ending than be separated by what happened to the psychiatric ending, where Saya basically said I love you and he said I love you, and then she left and didn't come back, and he's basically serving life. I personally think that was the worst ending than this one, even though it was supposed to be the bad ending, the worst one than the psychiatric one. I personally would much rather die by the side of someone I love rather than be ripped away from them in a way. That's my personal point of view, of course. The true ending is the best out of them all. I very heavily recommend. It is extremely gruesome, it is extremely graphic. If you want, there is the censored version on Steam. Now, I did get the uncensored version, mind you. So, if you want the uncensored version, look around. It is out there. I can't, unfortunately, give any links because you understand why. I am not sure if it wouldn't be breaking some, laws or etc. But this story was beautiful in a way. It's basically how deprived love can get. Just how far it can go. For two people. At least that's my understanding from it, philosophically. I also think it has something to do with how far mental illness can go, together with how he views the world, and how he basically anchored himself with Saya. Because I think if he didn't anchor himself with Saya, he would have killed himself. Or just be completely abandoned alone. I think he would have killed himself more than that though. Yeah, personally. And Saya being an quote-unquote an alien. It's really interesting. That's really interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Please censor that again, please. It is fucking crazy. I personally think I'm gonna revisit this world sooner or later. I don't think I'm ever gonna get all endings again. I think I'm just gonna be getting the true ending. Because that one was genuinely, I think fucking true, right? I am gonna check if the creator of this story has more that are similar like this. I don't think there are though. This one was really unique. Like really unique. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, I'm gonna be stuck with this bitch in my brain for a while. I think it might have also been speaking, or like philosophically been saying like death isn't the worst thing there is. And suicide isn't the worst option there can be. But more than that, I think it is just about how deprived love can get. Just how down you can go when it comes to love, right? Because think of it, Fuminori went from a college kid to a loner to isolating himself and cutting himself completely from his friends. Well, like completely. We know what he said to the chick that had a crush on him. Then we know, what did he do? He did fuck Saya, which in his eyes was the only human looking thing But technically Saya was a child, or like a child look like, right? So technically he did went down bad with that. Then what did he do next? Then he ate human flesh. So that when he went even deeper for his quote-unquote love for Saya, basically. And then he killed for Saya. And then in the true ending, he killed again. And then we don't know what happened with him, with Fuminori, when Saya did, you know, get these answer that. Thank you. When Saya, you know, spread her wings. So we don't know what happened to him. If he's dead, or if he was... Wait, he most likely turned into the monster too, right? At least that's what I think. I'm not sure. Or did they die together? I don't remember. I don't think they did. What a beautiful story. Genuinely, what a beautiful story in a way. I know a lot of people in the comments will hate on my ass for saying that. In a way, yeah, it is. I've seen worse. I did. Unfortunately, I did. Just the way it was portrayed. They could have removed the rape though. Like they could have removed that. That was fucking disgusting. That was like they could have removed that completely. Yeah. I guess Fuminori killing and then accepting Saya even after she got raped is also like tied to the chain of how deprived love can get, right? Maybe. Do tell me what you think in the comment section. That's really interesting. I would love to talk to the creator of this world. He's probably like 40 now though. Because this, yeah, 2003. I would love to talk to the creator of this world and just ask, you know, if he ever makes another one. I would love another one. Not a sequel, no, but something like this. Yeah, I do will say one thing. No matter how disgusting it is one of a kind, and it is beautiful in a way. Okay. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, fuck that fucking psychiatric or hospital ending. I would much rather die with the love by my side and both of us dying than fucking be separated in a mental hospital. Hell no. I mean, suicide would be a better option at that stage, from my personal point of view. I don't know. You tell me. I've been yapping for like 20 minutes. It doesn't matter. The video will be like 2 hours anyway. So I think it will be just the hardcore fans that are watching. Also, yeah. She was crazy. She was crazy. Crazy hot too, fuck yeah. And he was just gone after he lost Saya. Saya was his anchor. She was basically the only thing that held him. I didn't get all the CGs, yeah. I did. I did. In a way, yeah. Fuck me. It is beautiful. I'm gonna die on that hill. I think I'm gonna need to think about this more. I think it'll take a few weeks, maybe months, for me to completely rearrange my point of view on this world. I might replay it a few times, or like revisit a few times. But the one thing I will say right here and right now that I fully mean, this world is beautiful philosophically. And the music slaps, holy shit, yeah. Saya is a queen, yeah. In a way, even Fuminori is like really fucking good. No, Fuminori is actually really fucking bad. He is really bad, actually. Saya is good though. Fuminori is actually quite bad. Now that I think about it, Fuminori is really fucking bad. I mean, yeah. Yeah, but what he did to Ome or Yo, yeah, I think he's quite bad. It's true that Saya did make it happen, basically. I guess both of them are deprived in the same way. That's why they are in love. Damn, this was good. This was really good. Okay, I did get a few recommendations on Black Souls. Will I visit that world? Probably not anytime soon, because this world was extremely long, and I understand that not everyone has, you know, 2 hours or 6 hours to watch one episode. So you get the idea. If you watched to this point, thank you. Thank you so much for all the support and all that you have done. Truly thank you. Thank you for everything. Tell me what you think about this world and both of the endings. I mean, all 3 of the endings, if you watch the true ending also. Personally, I think it is about just how deprived love can get and how far it can be taken. Like, if you have a man that can go from being a college boy to being able to sacrifice absolutely everything he has just to be by the side of his, you know, quote-unquote love. Even as much as it is depriving and really, really immoral, I understand, in a way. Like, if your world looks like the way that his world looked like, I understand. It's like the one saying, would you rather live the disgusting and unforgiving truth, but it would be pain every single fucking day, or would you live the most beautiful lie, knowing that it's a lie, but it is your lie and it is beautiful? At that stage, doesn't the lie become part of your reality and part of your perception? Because you are living that lie. You know that it's a lie, but you choose to accept it as your part of the reality. It's not reality for everyone else, but it is yours. Fuck me. Hey, I very heavily doubt the creator of this world will ever see any of this. But if you do clarify. Please, do clarify what was the meaning, the philosophical meaning behind the story. It was beautiful, fuck you, it was beautiful. I know I will get a lot of flame, and if I ever will become popular in the future, this will get brought up and I will be called who knows fucking what, fucking cannibal, bitch, I never ate human, right? But like, it will happen sooner or later. I hope I never change. Fuck them. They did beautiful story. Fuck me. I'm gonna end it here, or I'm gonna keep yapping for another 20 fucking minutes. It's gonna take a while for me to recover, so there might not be upload for a while, because this was fucking crazy. Okay. I'm gonna go to sleep then. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for all the support, as always. There might be a Dora in the video, look for her. If you find her first, I'll pin you, as always. Thank you so much for all the support you have showed me. Truly, thank you. We're at 1400 subs. I know it's slowed down now because I'm not uploading Project Moon, but I don't want to be known as just like the one world type of dude, if you know what I mean. Nothing against those people, but like, I don't want to be closed off to all the other worlds, basically. That was my biggest fear, and I'm just gonna keep risking. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. There was one person who watched the entire 6-hour true ending playthrough. Thank you so much to you. Truly. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you. You don't know what it means to me. Truly thank you for watching all the way to the end. And if you watch this all the way to the end, again, thank you truly for everything. I'm gonna go to sleep now. What a beautiful world. Love is deprived. I love it though. Good night.